Good morning, my name is Wookie and this is your tech news in 6 minutes or less. Intel's 10850 10 core should be coming to the desktop. We get more info on the new Ryzen 4750G APU. There's finally some official specs on the Threadripper Pros. 12-pin power connectors might be coming with your Ampere GPUs. Big Navi should be as much as 40% better than the RTX 2080 Ti. And we have a look at the hot specials on Evetech this week. And now last week, the 10850K popped up, being a new 10-core 12-thread from Intel, and it's practically the same as the 10900K, albeit without some overclocking headroom. And now these are both K-series chips and pretty much the same on paper, so it's a bit weird, but there is a significant price decrease. These should be around 470 euros or about 9,000 Rand. If we add in tax, we get closer to 12, about 11.5 is what my pulled up. Initially, the assumption was that these were going to be for the SI market only, but now they're being listed for retail. So hopefully we'll get some 10-core 20-thread goodness without the added thermals. The Ryzen 4750G popped up in some benchmarks as well, and it's really close to the 3700X. Now this is with 4 times less level 3 cache, so the APU has a lot less resources for queuing up instructions, and multi-threaded was only behind by about 10%. This chip does also have a Vega 8 core setup on it, so it will be practically like having an 8-core 16-thread with a free GT 1030 all on chip. If you are in the high-end desktop space, then this should be on your radar. AMD has finally spilled the beans officially on the Threadripper Pros, and they will be able to support up to 2 terabytes worth of memory. The largest of these Threadrippers will be a 64-core 128 thread super monster with a 4.2 GHz max boost and 288 megabytes worth of combined cache. Honestly, I would love to just get my hands on one just so I could put it through Cinebench and watch it munch down on the benchmark like a famished dog with a piece of biltong.
They came bounding over.
A new 12-pin power adapter for the GPU market has showed up with really promising initial results and engineering. It does look like they're basically taking 2 6-pins and smashing them together, but it's not actually just double a 6-pins 75 watts. It scales additively basically. So instead of doing 150 watts if you were to just take 2 6-pins, this single 12-pin can put through 600 watts worth of power, and even with the meatiest of GPUs these days consuming in the 300 to 350 range, that's a lot. Now, a lot of manufacturers and power supplies won't have 12-pin connectors, but it does look like you'll be able to have 2 8-pins pushing into the 112, and probably with new power supplies in a modular nature, this will be supported natively. This should be coming along with the Nvidia Ampere GPUs, and hopefully they'll be on there around launch, which is, less than about 2 months away. Now, some interesting information has come out on the Big Navi, which is going to be hopefully landing about September, and funnily enough from Nvidia of all places. They've identified that this chip will have a sort of dual core setup where you'll have 2 sets of streaming processor units spread across the chip, and then a really beefy 384-bit GDDR6 memory profile by the looks of things. And the outset of this is probably about 40% better than the 2080 Ti. Now the 3070 on Ampere is supposed to come up to that sort of level, but it does mean that if the general performance level is increased by that much, lower end GPUs will become like ridiculously cheap overnight. So let's hold thumbs that AMD can make it good and that the driver works. Evetech has released probably one of the coolest mini RTX boxes I've ever seen in the form of their new Striker Phantom gaming series. It looks absolutely fantastic. It is a mini RTX, so you're not going to be able to put massive boards and stuff in there. But as far as like custom water cooling goes on mini RTX, just look at it. It looks awesome. It's like wiping Mars with awesome. It's like being attacked in the face with a whole basket of awesome. Lastly, having a look at some Evetech specials. Evetech desk mats are a whole 200 rands. Marvo's Mech TKL keyboard is a whole 300 rands. You can now get Clev V30 certified micro SDs for that 4K video. Hikvision's SSDs are there to speed up your load times. The Logitech MX518 and Glorious Model O are still under $1,000. Corsair LPX 16 gig 3200 MHz kits are a whole 1700. Antec Neptune's 240 is up on special, and we have a review live if you are interested in that. And MSI's 1660 Super goes for just under 6K. That is all we have time for this week, but later I will be reviewing the Vive Focus Plus, which is a completely wireless VR system, and on the initial looks, but it's, well, pretty boss. But until then, keep well, stay safe, and I'll see you on the flip side.